Hi, my name is Lonny Starr, and like you, I am pretty much isolated in my home now because of the COVID-19 crisis. I'd like to make some political statements in that regard, but I'm not going to do that. What I would like to do is to show you around the tools I use to make my own music, just so I can make demos of my songs so I could get them out there. I don't get much of an audience, but it makes me feel better if I'm executing my songs and trying to make them better and more accessible through platforms like YouTube. I have a unique sound, and I'm limited instrumentally because I'm not talented. I'm not overly talented, but I do have these songs that I've written that I would like to try to get out to the public. So, for my friends, I have a number of friends who also are in the same boat but are not comfortable with recording their material at all and will always opt to save up their money and go to a studio. I want to offer a little knowledge that might help you with a cheap alternative to the studio for getting your demos done. Obviously, in my case, it wouldn't be for more than that because I don't think you would have the audio fidelity to release anything to the public, but for demo purposes, I think it works. Let's start here. First, we have my Boss DR880 drum machine. I use this to generate a lot of my drums. I have another system in another room that Native Instruments that I use to give me drum sounds frequently. In this case today I'm going to use my DR880. I've recorded the drum track already. It sounds something like this. Now I use a DAW, digital audio workstation. It's very old, but it works with my old Mac Tower. It's called Soundtrack Pro. I used to be a Final Cut editor. Well, I still am, but I use Premiere Pro primarily now for video editing projects. But this is the drum machine, and it has different sounds that you can program in. I programmed this simple drum track in and recorded it to the digital audio workstation simply by pressing record. So this will give me my bass track, or my basic drum track for this session. So at this point, the configuration of equipment that I'm using just to lay down the drum track is this mixer, which I got from a musician's friend years ago. Stupid deal of the day, I think it was $100 or less. And going to this 12-bit compressor, or 16-bit compressor, sorry, and my M-Audio interface from the drum machine, which also will generate my bass track. It has a lot of good bass sounds. Over there is my Johnson workstation, my little Johnson J Station it's called, and that's where I get some of the guitar sounds when I don't want to fire up an amplifier, which might be the case today given the circumstances of people home isolated and probably not wanting to hear my loud guitar, because I'll need a loud guitar sound for what we're about to do, which will be a song called It's Just the Little Things that I've written, but I wrote it a long time ago. So right now that's the configuration of equipment that we're using. We're using the Soundtrack Pro digital audio workstation. We've used the DR880 to generate the drum sound, which is represented by that waveform on the digital audio workstation there on the top track. And we have the compressor, the M-Audio interface, and finally the mixer. So now we'll move to the next layer of sound since we've laid down the drum track, and I think what I will do next will be a guitar. Tuned guitar is always important. This is a $10 guitar. It's a 63 Princeton. It's a Japan-made guitar that has these single coil pickups that have a very unique super stratty sound, and I use it a lot for what the sound I could get from them, a unique sound. Right now I'm tuning my guitar. I play everything to help me sing, which I can't do, but I try. I tune down half a step, so if you ever wanted to play along, just know that I'm tuned down half a step on the guitar. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this next pass into, this is a little more expensive. This is a $1,000 item, $700, $1,000 depending on the condition. Something I bought on eBay many years ago. It's a Mesa Boogie Triaxis, and it emulates a lot of great Mesa Boogie sounds, and that's what I'm going to go into now for this first guitar pass that I'm going to do against the drums. I'll lay bass probably last, but anyway, all right, so tune up the guitar, and then I also have a red Mark II cabinet emulator, a Hughes and Keltner, I believe. And from the cabinet emulator, go into my mixer, where I had a little EQ and a nice reverb, slapback reverb that's part of this mixer. Really the only effect that's usable in this mixer. So we'll do the guitar pass now. Okay, so I've selected a nice rough sound on the Mesa Boogie Triaxis that I like. You can't hear it now, but you will after I get recording. So the signal path now is the guitar into the Mesa Boogie. By the way, that's a tube preamp. And into the cabinet emulator, into the mixer, into the compressor, into the interface, the M-Audio interface, into the Mac over here. So now we're going to lay down the guitar track. Rewind the track here in my project and hit record. So right now I'm hearing the drums. Okay, so now I'm just going to lay in a lead piece that you can't hear at this stage because it's in my headphones, but you could hear it in the monitor. I have something set up on the Triaxis that I like, and before I put this guitar away, I want to lay a couple of lines of this thing in, which goes into the chorus of the song. So either I will use it later when we edit this together, start editing it together, which will be next, or I could discard it completely, but either way, I like the sound right now. I don't know how it's going to lay against this when finally done, but I'm going to put these pieces down right now. Okay, let's move on to this phase now, the editing phase. And first of all, I would like to say that I have no illusions about the Soundtrack Pro that you're going to see me using. It's just something that I've had for many years. It's a dinosaur. It's something a tool that I use. It's nowhere near as flexible and sonically pure, I guess, as some other programs to use for making music, like Pro Tools and Ableton and some other things. But for me, it's what I have. I have a very limited budget, especially now in the middle of this COVID crisis. And beyond that, I don't like to spend money. You can spend money endlessly on the music, and I don't think that's for me. But so I had this, and this is what I use to piece together my music. I'm still recording 96,000 cycles and 24 bits, and so you know, I get decent sound, and I have editing capabilities because of the waveform that this produces. Anyway, so let's move into editing our music now. I'm going to place this guitar against the drum track where it should come in, and so we have this little drum intro, and then it hits. So let's move this down here and see how this is going to work. We're just moving this guitar track, and then I'm going to edit out some of the bad stuff that I did in the guitar track to make it a little more palatable. Half hour later, approximately, here we are now. So I backed up the guitar track and to start where it needed to start. Okay, so now it makes sense, it's in sync. I cut in a couple of the good takes over the bad takes, doubled up a guitar in the pre-chorus, add some cymbals here. Like I said, there's a little ride thing going on over here. I didn't do it on both verses, just did it here just for illustrative purposes. Okay, you could hear it a little better this way. It's back in the mix, but here's the rides. Here's the crash. And there's the chorus. Just a little thing you say and do. So here we are, 3 hours, I guess, maybe from the start of this thing. I laid in a bass track, a few takes of the bass track. I'm going to edit out some mistakes, as I illustrated earlier. Moved around some of the lead guitar that I recorded on that $10 guitar. I mean, that I used exclusively up until this point. I think I'll do an overdub with at least an acoustic guitar, maybe a lead guitar with a Guild Starfire, 63 Starfire, which probably is a little more expensive than that Princeton guitar. It was $10. But now all we have to do for our purposes here, for this video, is with one last flourish here, put on our headphones and record our audio track, our voice, which we'll do right now.
If I don't get you back, don't know where I'll be. I'm in a hole now and the bottom goes back up to me. I'm not serious, that's what you think. I'm just incredulous. You're down my will to sink. It's just the little things you say and do. It's just the little things make me fall in love with you. Just the little things you say and do. It's just the little things make me fall in love with you. I feel spun, but with very good reason, cause I'm odd man out, a bitch without a season, lying in the bed you made, but the joke's on you, left the you pervade, fit me like a shoe, it's just the little things you say and do, it's just the little things make me fall in love with you, just the little things you say and do, it's just the little things make me fall in love with you. You're out of sight, don't matter my mind. You're everything that I'm hoping to find. Oh, if I don't get you back, I don't know where I'll be. I'm in a hole now and the bottom looks like up to me. I'm not serious, that's what you think. I'm just incredulous. You're down my will to sink. It's just the little things you say and do. It's just the little things make me fall in love with you. Just the little things you say and do. that little thing. Thank you.
Lonny Starr, over and out, baby. It's just a little thing. Things, parentheses S. It's just a little things. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, let me know. We could do some more.